All right. So you or I's only hope of a long-lasting relationship that can lead to marriage for a lifetime is probably in a church, but not like a modern leftist church. In the United Protestants Church, probably, which is like a denomination within the denominations of the Protestant churches in the United States and around the world that go against leftist ideology in the Catholic Church and any other Protestant churches. Like that's going into that group. If you don't know about it already, just look up Redeemed Zoomer. That's probably your best chance of finding a woman, and it's my best chance too. If we want marriage and a family, because the rest of the society is tanking. And there's going to be a religious sphere that survives afterwards. And I've talked about that before, but I actually found Redeemed Zoomer's YouTube channel. I'm like, yes, this is what I predicted happening. It's already beginning to happen. Not just probably, but it's actually just beginning to happen. And in the next 20 to 30 years, it's going to be pretty wild what we see what we see happen in the world. Sorry, I have the flu or something. But I think it's called the United Protestants of America. I can't remember. Just look up Redeemed Zoomer. Redeemed Zoomer. Anyway, that's probably our best chance of finding a family. Not finding a family, but creating a family. Because everything else is hookup culture and polygyny. You don't know what polygyny is. It's just where a few guys get a bunch of the girls, and like most of the guys don't get any of the girls, and it's just a hookup culture at that point. Which I know about because I have participated in it a little bit shamefully, by the way. I just did that because I didn't know what else to do to get women, and I'm gym maxing again. Like I went to the gym yesterday, and I'm going on walks, so I'm probably gonna look pretty fit by the end of it, like next 6 months or so. Because I've done this like 3 times where I get fat, and then I go back to the gym, and I get in shape. And so I'll probably do that, but even then, like nowadays, like I don't even know if I have the height or the height's the biggest thing. Like if you're not short, you don't know. It's just pretty brutal. Even if you have everything else made up for, even if your dick's not that small, you know. Even then, your height can be like sort of a determining factor for women. So it's pretty brutal, but I deal with it. I'm just like, yeah, I'm 5'8". Yeah. I don't really think about it all day or anything. It's not something I really think about. If I was like 5'6", then I'd constantly think about it. But I only sort of occasionally think about it. It's usually when I'm watching movies and I'm wondering what the actors' heights are. I'm like, I wonder how tall they had to be to get this part. And usually it's about 5'10", anywhere from 5'10" to 6'3", 6'4" ish. And there's a few guys who are like 5'8", 5'7", 5'9". I've never really seen an actor who's well, no, I take that back. Anyway, the range is like 5'10" to 6'4" is where they want you if you're an actor. You might say, "Oh, Tom Cruise, he's 5'7" though." Yeah, it's just that not most European or American European actors aren't that short. Which is he's right around my height, to be honest. So I tried to be an actor once, if you can't tell. By trying to be an actor, I mean that I just signed up for some courses and tryouts online once, so didn't lead anywhere. I didn't really know what else to do with my life. I was just bored, so I was like, okay, I'll maybe try this. I hate like these like I guess they're called normies, but they all sound the same. God. So I guess I just spoke about marriage but normies, like the normie laugh or whatever, is kind of like a cruel, like desperate laugh. I don't know. Like maybe there is no such thing as a normie laugh, but they all sound like they're sort of the same to me. Just regular people, people who like aren't that attractive or who are just normal, just just they brutally don't understand very much about the world. And I just heard some woman like kind of cackle laugh, not really a cackle, but almost. And I don't know. It's just like she'd be better if it would be better for her if she were quiet. But she doesn't understand that, and she never probably will. And you can just tell that by the way she laughed, which was just kind of like a sneering laugh to make fun of somebody, and just like not me, but somebody who she was talking to, with the guy she was talking to. They all sound like the same though. It's like coffee shop talk. If you want to get an example of what I mean by what I'm talking about right now, just go to a coffee shop, like a busy coffee shop, and just sit down and listen to all the women talk, and you'll get the idea. It's like chatter, and it's very, very annoying, and makes it hard to sit down in coffee shops. That's why I'm at the library right now instead of a coffee shop. And I have to record, but that's part of the reason why I'm in one of the study rooms where it's quiet. And it's not all that quiet either. I don't think I'm being that loud because I'm in the study room. Like the noise shouldn't escape too much. But it's not exactly the most soundproof room I noticed the other day. Anyway, this video is probably just going to be a rant about how our only chance is to be religious and get married. And I was religious before thinking about this stuff, but even if I hadn't been, it's still important. I was Catholic, and I'm currently switching over to Presbyterianism, which is what I grew up with. The Presbyterianism I grew up with wasn't like far left because it was like in the mid 2000s, early 2000s, when things hadn't gotten like too bad, like when the death of society wasn't really like imminent. Won't happen for another like 20, 30 years probably though. Maybe sooner based on what I'm reading, but probably 20, 30 years. I wouldn't rush it. I think I'll be an old man by the time I see it. Let me think of what else to talk about. Oh yeah, gym maxing. I went to the gym yesterday, lifted some heavy objects, put them down, and yeah, it was pretty good. It felt good. And I walked 7 miles, and so that's good. I walked 7 miles, lifted some heavy objects, and then I went back home and played RuneScape because RuneScape's my only socialization besides the gym. It's still better than being a hikikomori, which I'm still sort of hikikomori. Like, I stay in my room a lot and play video games, but I socialize quite a bit on those video games. And I also go to the gym and I talk to people sometimes, like, or they come up and talk to me. And that's part of being, like, somewhat attractive, is just sort of, like, people don't mind coming up and talking to you sometimes. Especially if you're at the gym where you all have, like, a common goal of gaining muscle. It's just easier to talk to people at the gym because there's only, like, one thing to talk about. Not just one thing, but there's... lifting's the main topic. Pretty easy conversation starter. That being said, if you don't start out muscular, or if you just aren't very muscular, can't put on muscle, it's going to be harder to start conversations with people. I'm also overweight, so people give me a hard time, like they want me to lift harder. But I can only lift so hard right now, so... It's kind of pointless, though. Like, it'll lead to a one-night stand or a relationship that ends quickly, probably. Unless it doesn't. Like unless I get lucky. That's why I said my only hope and your only hope probably is to join the United Protestants. If you're purely looking for marriage, like a woman to marry, like, yeah, that's probably your best bet. It's probably your best bet. But I pray like every night. I've been praying for like 3 years now. And it helps me quite a bit. It helps me quite a bit. It keeps me sane. That's another thing. Like, a belief in God is very important. And Jesus Christ. So... You just gotta avoid these mega churches, and I've been to a mega church before, and it's just a lot of dancing, and ignoring the Bible, the books in the Bible. Anyway, not just mega churches, but other churches that take up, or other people who take up residence in churches and claim to preach the gospel, but don't. I don't know. I'm a Presbyterian. We're the intellectual Christians, basically. Like, we always talk about this stuff. At least growing up, we always did. Within church, within, like, Sunday school, and not just Sunday school, but, like with our pastor and other people in the church. Always just bringing up things like... One example I heard recently that jogged my memory about what they used to teach in my church. Was the transmutation, not mutation, I can't remember what it's called. The property that the body of Christ has, that the bread also has, like the bread and the body of Christ are the same thing, in a Presbyterian's opinion. And there's this whole explanation about it that's called something that I can't think of right now, transmutation or something. But it's not mutation, it's something else. and that goes for the wine too, or the grape juice, depending on whether or not you got wine or grape juice. But it's the same thing. That's actually the blood of Christ, and that's actually the body of Christ through a process that is understood after prayer. Anyway, I guess that's it for this video. Thanks.